Chelsea Corporate finds opportunities and closes deals, start to finish. By helping you to buy the right business, we save you time and money. We stand for a different client experience, one that's consistent and reliable. We manage the buying process in your interest. What are the most common reasons for aborted deals?
I referred earlier to open heart, open book, and open wallet. A deal can go aborted very quickly, very easily, if you don't do any of those three things. So firstly, you close your heart, you don't tell the buyer what your hopes and aspirations are, perhaps after you've sold your business or for the business itself. You might want certain things for the business with a new buyer that the buyer hasn't mentioned to the seller, therefore the seller gets cold feet and thinks that the buyer isn't the right buyer for your business. Secondly, open heart leads to open book. If you close that book, if you don't let the buyer in with the information that's required, the buyer again will distrust you, and that will obviously lead to perhaps shaving off the purchase price if they don't feel that they've got enough information, so they're relying on warranties and indemnities, and then the seller's advisors will say, well, you shouldn't be giving all these warranties and all these indemnities, and the seller says, well, in that case I'm not going to sell the business. So it spirals out of control. And closing the wallet, I saw this recently with another deal that we've just closed, thankfully, despite the seller's lawyers, as it were. The seller's lawyers were charging the seller a certain price, and then they increased it because they felt that there was more work to do. The seller didn't want to pay, therefore they said, we're not going any further until we've sorted this out with our lawyers. Well, the buyer said, I'm not really that interested, I might just walk away. Luckily, the seller's lawyers had the idea to stick to their original price, and everything went ahead. So it's really important that you need to open up that wallet in order to let the advisors do what they do best. Deals don't always go according to plan.
As a rule, selling your business is probably one of the biggest things you're ever going to do. You know, buying a house obviously is way up there, but selling your business, for most people, it's a one-time thing. For others, it's multiple times, but for most, it's a one-time thing. Trying to scrimp and scrape on Bob from the golf club doesn't work. It will cost you money. You'll end up signing up to warranties, like you say, indemnities that you probably shouldn't have done. The biggest killer in my book, in my experience, is time. Time kills deals. And that comes around advisors. Surround yourself by a good accountant, a good lawyer. Have a timeline in mind. And when you commit, get on and do it, because buyers will get fatigued. And if everything's taking forever and a day to come through, you know, it's like time's the biggest killer. It's not necessarily something in the accounts. It's, we've been doing this for 6 months and they just move on.
And if it's not the right lawyer for the job, that will also kill the deal.
Oh, 100%.
So if, as you say, Bob from the golf course isn't really a corporate lawyer, that's when you get into trouble. Because he or she feels that it's out of their depth, and then they start to disagree on everything, even though it would be perhaps market.
It's interesting, isn't it? You know, the company lawyer that they've been using for 20 years, there's nothing wrong with that solicitor. You know, he's been very helpful with some client contracts and leases and a couple of employment issues over the years, and been very, very helpful. Doesn't make him an M&A corporate lawyer. And the service and the experience are completely different. So, yeah, the wallet thing's very important when choosing a lawyer.
I would just make one more point, which is that you can be the best M&A lawyer, but if you haven't got the resources behind you, or you're too busy to actually focus on the deal, that too could be a killer.
Speak with our buy-side experts today by calling +44 020 3011 1373. Chelsea Corporate. Changing the way you buy business.